Every year around about early October, early November, a sea of purple petals bloom in suburbia. Now, even though the jacarandas are native to Africa, it sure does make the streets of Joburg that much prettier. I'm your host, Eloise Scoble, and this is Trendz Travel. Now, if you enjoyed the performance by Lady Smith back Mambaza, we do have a surprise come up for you, but that's for later in the show. Right now, though, Sleepy Mafadi takes us to Ghana, where she was invited by the South African Department of Arts and Culture to witness a cultural exchange between Ghanaian and South African artists. All of this under the umbrella of Mandela Centenary, Be the Legacy.
Ghana hosted the South African Department of Arts and Culture for a cultural exchange week in the capital city of Accra. The department teamed up with the tourism department in Ghana and curated a week of exciting activities that show off the best of South Africa's artistic skills. First up, we explored the art and fashion.
We have an amazing exhibition. We've got the Nelson Mandela poster project involved, and we're also working with crafters around 6 different provinces from South Africa and also designers from all around South Africa. So all local South African products, and it's beautiful. You can look at it.
The department went around South Africa looking for the best artists that can interpret the brief, highlighting the centennial celebrations of Nelson Mandela and Mama Albertina Sisulu under the theme Be the Legacy.
We've got different, like all the designers that interpret it themselves, but we've got from traditional, like really traditional garments, like the Khoza garments and then the bele beading and the blankets. But we also have designers who's doing more modern stuff that interpreted the brief in their way. So you'll see some embroidery from Serati that's got Mama Sisulu's face on it, and then we've got some from African Swiss. We've got like beautiful quotes painted onto the garment. So that's his style. He works with the denim and things, and he interprets the brief that way.
A project that has been celebrating the life and times of Nelson Mandela longer than this year's centennial celebration is by a group of South African designers who are now known as the Mandela Poster Project Collective. In 2013, they received more than 700 posters from designers in more than 70 countries. The team had to trim down the series to only 95 posters, not only to celebrate Madiba's 95th birthday, but to pursue his final legacy wish of establishing Africa's third dedicated children's hospital in Johannesburg. This collection first went on display on Nelson Mandela International Day in 2013 and is currently traveling to various venues in South Africa and around the globe. A key element of this cultural season is to strengthen cultural relations as well as create a platform for trade between the two countries. The program included a masterclass at a community center where 2 South African craft makers shared their experiences and techniques of embroidery and beadmaking to the local designers of Ghana.
Okay, I was very excited because I've always wanted to learn how the bracelets are made, the flat ones. The stitching type is quite different from what I know. So when I learned the crafts program was going on, I was happy. I knew I had to be here at all costs. And I'm actually glad I came here.
The project itself, I think, is amazing. The cross-cultural integration, I feel, is very important, especially on the aspect of healing. Both countries have a long history in political issues. So now that we are looking at creating a new sense of direction, it would be great to actually do it together.
I find it so interesting because I think this is securing our relations with other African countries. I've never been into any other African country. This is my first, and I think maybe this is going to go far, and then we can go to other countries too. And I think the people are also excited. Maybe the other country would like to have this opportunity.
here with our economy, it is either, if you are not that well educated, it becomes difficult for you to survive in terms of to feed yourself and the family. And so with the vocational training that we do here, we give them skills to be able to produce something for themselves and to be able to take care of themselves. It is very helpful because from what we've been doing for all this while, we've seen an improvement in the system. There are some people that we've met who have passed through our system and they are making stuff for themselves. They are able to take care of themselves. Some have been able to get up the streets. You know, our center, we find donors to support us to train people off the street in terms of the street children, the less privileged. And we also train people who just want to have some skill at, you know, not that they are lacking money or something, but they just want to have a skilled labor. So they also come in and train. But in a nutshell, we see a positive outcome in what we do here. The community where we find ourselves, a lot of people have passed through, and today I can boldly say they have their own shops. Now they've started earning money for their own shops based on the acts that they've learned from here. So yeah.
Firstly, I have an outline of what I teach. So the first thing I will do is to put it on my outline. So aside the regular things we used to do, we have South African beading style on our outline. And I think it's something anyone who is coming to learn beading would love to learn because it gives you an edge over your Ghanaian competitors. You know how to make something from a different country. You're different, you're new. So I think that is a plus from the economic aspect, from the vocational aspect. It's a plus, anyhow you look at it.
The most recognizable product that comes from Ghana is the kente fabric. This is no ordinary cloth. The method of producing this colorful fabric is called strip weaving and has existed in West Africa since the 11th century.
The kente weaving is our Ghana traditional cloth. So this is how our fathers work. And by that time, olden days, with this, they used to do it a cloth.
So there's no other way to do this weaving without doing it on this machine?
This machine. So if you are in the village, did the carpenter do it for me? If you are in the village, you can cut a wood from the bush, come and dig the ground and put the wood to touch it. Then we get the loom.
This old form of making material is a skill that takes many years to perfect. Samuel Osai Bampo has been doing it for as long as he can remember.
Kente weaving. We used to laugh from our age, from 6 years and 7 years. And I learned my own, my age of 12 years, which is 1962. The kente weaving to learn is hard. So that's why I was to start from our age, from 6, 12 years, so up to your 15 years, then you learn finish. And you can take the 3.5 years to learn it. The maximum is 4 years to learn. You understand? We have a lot of designs. When you are learning, you put the design onto your head. So the weaving is hard.
The Department of Arts and Culture have put plans in place to bring the Ghana cultural seasons to South Africa. Soon, we will be learning how to create the signature Ghana fabric.
Coming up after the break, we've got some more great local sounds for you. But why don't you follow us on all of our social media platforms, on Trendz on SABC using the hashtag SABC News.
The Great Bank Heist. Well, it was brazen. It was quick.
One thought we're perhaps looking at figures much, much lower. Right. It's almost 2 billion.
It was shared amongst very greedy VBS executives and politically connected individuals. You are listed in that report. Did you steal money?
The narrative that they're trying to create is proven wrong by Advocate Mtao's report himself. He said in point 59 that he could not find a definitive wrongdoing, anything factually.
The misleading information which Daily Maverick has is deliberate. It's part of the whole propaganda machinery. You can challenge this fanfare to bring us the so-called evidence that I received 10 million. It's pure insanity.
Is there any prospect whatsoever of saving VBS?
We are not as confident as we were when we started the curatorship as to restoring the bank.
The bank is in a hopeless situation and it cannot be saved.
Quick fact, did you know that South Africa is one of the most established markets in the world for obstacle course racing? With that in mind, Spartan, the world's largest obstacle course race and endurance brand, is in South Africa, and they kicked off their inaugural event in Kingskloof in Johannesburg. Now guys, I did try to let my Spartan shine through, so don't judge me. Let's have a look.
Spartan Race has become a tribal movement. Whether it's the 1,000 people that show up for workouts on the beach with us in the morning, whether it's the 10,000 people that show up to race with us, whether it's 3.5 million fans that talk to us through Facebook, this little spark of trying to introduce people to what they're capable of has turned into a forest fire.
Spartan's philosophy is, you can't have a strong body without a strong mind. Because for those who do it, it's more than a sport, it's a way of life.
It's really a lifestyle. It's got people eating healthy, it's got people inspiring others. It's really unbelievable what's happening. And this all came out of this little spark of an idea that we all need adversity to grow.
Founded in the US by Joe DeCina, a man who participated in every extreme sports adventure he could find, the movement and that same tenacious spirit has now hit South Africa. The registration table sees people of all ages, shapes and sizes excited to get their game on.
Welcome to Spartan Race South Africa, the first race here in South Africa at Kingskloof.
This further solidifies the race as the world's largest obstacle race and endurance brand. And because this is no light matter, preparations were underway before the big day to get the course and participants ready.
Are you ready? This is Spartan Strong Workouts.
Spartan South Africa!
I'm ready for this, man.
The rugged trails, rough terrain and scenic views of Kingskloof just outside of Johannesburg play host to fire, barbed wire and pure grit during the race.
I am Spartan! Are you ready?
Participants are ready and raring to go.
We've recently just embarked into training for obstacle courses. So when they announced that Spartan is coming to South Africa, we thought this is our chance to actually take part in it. And as well, there's an incentive to go to the Middle East. So hopefully if we win, we get to go there. The fastest time is 80 minutes. So we want to do anything below 80 minutes.
Yeah, to break the world.
Yeah.
Go Spartan Challenge!
The hype before the race starts is tangible. The country's inaugural race featured 3 signature obstacle race distances, including the Fast and Furious Sprint with more than 5 kilometers of terrain and between 20 and 23 obstacles. A challenging Super with more than 13 kilometers of terrain and more than 25 obstacles, and a kids race. Not just for the hardcore, we bumped into a beauty queen who was doing Spartan her way.
Today is about celebrating true, authentic South African spirit. Spartan is an international brand. It is the biggest obstacle and endurance brand in the world. But we have our very first Spartan race here today. And I love to see the amount of women and moms just like myself out there competing, even kids, because it's about being active and being healthy. And healthy is beautiful, active is beautiful, and it's about breaking those stereotypes around what traditional beauty is.
I got my head in the game by starting at the kiddies race, figuring I'd see how they fare and take it from there. These kids are hardcore and serious about the race. Starting at age 4, the kids are able to partake in their own obstacle course. Their obstacles are not your average jungle gym playground stuff, and these kids are determined and fast. At the end, everyone is a winner, and everyone who finishes receives a medal. So how was the race? How did you do the race?
It was fun, it was tiring, it was really muddy. Yeah. It was also really muddy. We had to jump over streams of mud, and yeah, it was really fun. Lots of twigs.
And what was your favorite part?
When we were climbing up the big rope.
What was your favorite part?
Jumping over the mud.
Jumping over the mud. And can I see your medals?
Yeah.
Oh, are you really proud of your medals?
Yes. Yes.
And why did you decide to do this?
Well, it's because it's fun and it's good and it's...
And it's a lot of running, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's challenging and it's something new.
And did you run the whole way?
Yeah.
Did you run the whole way?
Yes.
Oh, great. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Can I ask you to say Go Spartans for me?
Go Spartans!
Yay, thank you.
Milan, a 9-year-old, finished his race in record time for a kid and made first place.
And how was the race for you?
Very tough.
Well, what was so tough about it?
The first obstacle was very tough.
And what was the first obstacle?
The mud.
The mud. Is there a lot of mud? Is there a lot of mud and a lot of running?
Yes.
And what is your favorite part of doing this?
I love the outdoors.
And how strong are you that you're able to do this? Do you think you're pretty tough?
Yeah.
And do you think you should tell other kids to do this as well?
Yes.
And why should they do it?
Because it's good for you.
It is a bit daunting after that, but we're all about trying something at least once, so off I went. The first challenge was a breeze, and I must admit that the adrenaline made me a bit arrogant. But I soon found that carrying on, it did get harder, and in the heat, I was not the Spartan I'd hoped to be. But it's all about endurance and teamwork, so I gave it another go. Even with a little help, I'm still a Spartan. Yep, winner's mentality. I got to ring the bell. From here on, it's best I let you see how the pros do it. It's definitely not easy. Crossing the finish line is a feat as spectators cheer you on.
Just elated to be finished with it, man. It's just
good stuff,
incredible mission. It's a really difficult course, but it's one of the coolest courses I've run.
Well done, Spartans.
Toughest I've ever done.
And it's challenging. That's what I wanted.
Markings were impeccable. Aru! Aru! Aru!
Okay, so guys, I wasn't the Spartan that I could have been, but I really did try. Did you do the event? Did you do the challenge? If you did, why don't you send us your pics and videos and we'll see how you fared. Send it to us on Twitter or on Instagram, on Trendz on SABC using the hashtag TrendzTravel.
Hanover Park is known to be a playground for gang members. Several pupils failed to attend classes due to gang shootings.
The impact of these gang wars is that we find that learners stay away from school.
There's a lot of disruptions, but yet I try to come every day to school so that I can have a better future.
As an education department, which is not our primary mandate to address crime, we do what we can to ensure that our learners and teachers are safe in schools.
In pursuit of good results for a better future, these learners have all come here to what is commonly known as study camps. They bath, eat and sleep here. Learners believe that their sacrifices will bear fruit.
Once we give the best of our results and we get enough chance to spend with our teachers.
The local business people are giving us food, are supporting us big time.
This year we must have 100%.
Welcome back to Trendz Travel, and as promised, this is the moment you've all been looking forward to, as Nadia Nabuza takes us to the cradle of humankind at the glorious Nairok Sculpture Park, where she attended the Nelson Mandela's Children's Fund concert. The lineup was absolutely phenomenal, filled with South African artists, so why don't we go ahead and have a look.
A beautiful day spent in the scenic sculpture park is a must on your to-do list this summer. This time, though, we were not there just to enjoy the views and the summer cocktails. We gathered for a good cause. To raise funds for children, the Nelson Mandela's Children's Fund has done great works for the children of South Africa as well as parts of the continent. We were there to make our contribution.
Today we're celebrating 100 years of Nelson Mandela's birth. He is the founder of the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund. His first philanthropy initiative where when he became president of South Africa, he donated a third of his salary during his term, and also put the Nobel Peace Prize money to create and set up the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund. I think it's a known fact that he loved children. He was an advocate of anything children. So this is a fundraising initiative to make sure that we continue with his legacy and continue with the work that he's initiated.
It was a family affair indeed, with children running and playing in the water while the music played on in the background. I managed to catch these 5-time Grammy Award winners as they were busy having their final rehearsal. What a privilege it was to sit down with these great legends.
With me, I have the mighty Ladysmith Black Mambazo, and I'm about to speak to Ubaba Mazibuko, who's going to tell us about why they're here today. Sawubona Baba Mazibuko.
Yeah, sawubona.
I'm fine, thank you. So can you please tell us why you are here today at this concert?
Silapha kulo mcimbi namhlanje wokuqongelela izimali ukusupporta i-Children Fund Government Mandela. Ngakho ke kuyinhlanhla enkulu nathi ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi sohlanganyela siphose itshe esivivaneni. Ngoba kuvele kuyisifiso esikhulu usamambaza ukuthi esikwenzayo nabanye abantu kube khona abakuzuzayo kubona ngoba nathi siyiqembu nje siphumelele nje kungenxa yabantu base South Africa abasupportayo.
Okay. So manje baba niqale nini ukusebenzisana ne-Children's Fund?
So kuyisikhatshana impela eside nje noma ngeke ngiwazi unyaka kodwa ngiyakhumbula ukuthi makukhona izinto abazenzayo siphumelela siba khona sikujabulele kakhulu ukuthi sibe khona ngoba phela ubaba uMandela uyena umuntu esahlangana naye ekhathini ezindala impela wazeke wasinika negama elikhulu ukuthi singaba abantu abamele umculo wase South Africa.
Why Children's Fund in particular?
Ngicabanga ukuthi njengabazali ngoba nalisazalwa nathi singabazali uma nje kukhulunywa ngengane into ezosiza umuntu okhulayo angiboni ukuthi ikhona enye into enkulu emhlabeni ongayenza ngaphandle kokuthi ulekelele ekukhuliseni umntwana ngoba uyena ozoba ikusasa leso. Engakusho nje ngale concert yanamhlanje sijabulela kakhulu nokuthi ke sizohlanganyela nje nabaculi abaningi ikakhulukazi abaculi abasha esazi ukuthi basenekusasa eSouth Africa enhlobeni zonke zomculo ekhona.
The great icons shared the stage with young artists from South Africa.
We are here to support the Ladysmith Black Mambazo in a very amazing cause in conjunction with the Nelson Mandela Foundation. So we are here to really have fun and sing. Yeah.
Great. So I hear you're going to be sharing the stage with Mambazo.
Yes, the song we've just been working on, we're going to be singing a collaboration they did with Paul Simon many years ago, Diamonds on the Soles of Our Shoes. Just been a lifelong, favorite of mine, that whole album has. And we literally get to share the stage with them this afternoon and collaborate. So
how excited are you?
Yeah, like little children. But we're ready to dance. We fired up. We've been playing. We're ready to go for it. And couldn't find sweeter gentlemen if you tried. Like for people who have been on the road, a band that's been around about 60 years. They are the most humble, generous, kind people.
Been around the world.
Dude, yeah, like they've been all over.
Yeah, again and again. And the thing is, what impresses me as well is that their love of this country above all. because what they do is they take the music of this country to the world. And I think that's the most important thing. It's not just like a band that's cool. And I mean, that doesn't mean there's no space for that, but they really do represent what our country is about at its finest moments.
My friends and I are here for the Nelson Mandela benefit concert. We think it's such a beautiful concept because it looks after children who are less fortunate than us. And we're here just to experience the nice environment of different cultures coming in and listening to different types of music. So far we're having a really nice time. We've seen some amazing people, we've seen some amazing artists, and we're really, really glad to be here. It's been a really beautiful afternoon.
The Nelson Mandela benefit concert is such a good day. It's a perfect day out for the whole family. It's for a good cause, and so I hope that they continue year after year.
And that's all we have for you in this week's edition of Trendz Travel. As usual, I was your host, Eloise Scoble. Why don't you go out and explore this beautiful country of ours and send us your pics and videos of the most beautiful flora and fauna. That's all we have for you this week. Eloise Scoble signing out.